This is LOA Recon with Good Vibe Coach Jeanette Ma, where we explore the ins and outs of conscious creation to manifest our favorite dreams come true. Let's have some fun together. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining me for another episode. I'm loving right now how I'm imagining that Harvey feels like a very special dog. Well, he is a very special dog, but I think he knows it because he's the only one allowed in here while we're recording. Olive wanted to come in with us. She actually did come in with us, but I asked her to wait for us until we were done. And she did because she's such a good girl. Oh my gosh, I love her too. But I love that Harvey's in here with us. So this episode today isn't entirely sure what it wants to be. I've got a variety of things that I thought about sharing with you. And I thought, you know what, let's just start and see where it goes. The one thing that's really standing out for me as something I wanted to share was how much I liked my alignment practice this morning. So listen to this. You know, every day before I start the day, I practice lining up with what I want. And it's usually just some sort of imagining what I want as if it were a done deal, you know, entertaining what it looks like or how I will know when I get there or what it feels like. And I did that, but I didn't feel particularly plugged into it. I mean, I could name it, I could describe it, but it didn't feel like my vibrational dial had moved at all. It's kind of like I just went through the motions. So I knew I could do better than that. So as I was starting my day, opening blinds and saying hi to the kitties, I just asked myself this question: who will I be when that's my reality? When I have what I want, how will I be different? That's what I was looking for. What will be different about me? And at first, all I could think of was the ways that I would be the same. Like, I knew I will still live here in paradise with a bunch of cats and dogs and a two-legged sweetheart too. I'll still be doing this same work. I'll still love who I play with. I'll still like who I am. It was like I was noticing a lot of what will be the same. So I had to really try it on to look around and find a difference. And as I was doing that, at first I thought, you know, how cool is it to realize just how much is going to be the same, how much alignment I already have to this other dream come true that I'm conjuring. But I also know that however I can close that gap from who I'm being now to who I'll be then, that moves me closer to being the person who can receive, who can experience that other reality that I'm conjuring. So I kept feeling around for it, and that's when I spotted a difference. I found one. And there are probably others, but the first one that I touched on, I had fun with this one. I noticed I'll feel more pride. I'll be more proud of myself. I literally just sat up straighter as I said that. I just knew I'm not a stranger to feeling proud. I already have that to a certain extent, but I could tell there would be more. I'll be like, yeah, that's right. That's good. You did good, girlfriend. I could feel how proud of myself I would be. I would be impressed. I would feel more accomplished. I imagined I would hold my head a little higher, that I would feel a little more gravitas about myself. I'd feel like, okay, I did what I came to do. And I knew that feeling. Kind of, it's like when I play spelling bee anyway, this gets activated when I play spelling bee, because what I learned pretty quickly with that game is you got to know when to call it good, or you could spend way too much time on that thing trying to get to queen bee. At least it takes me a while to get to queen bee. Maybe it doesn't everyone else, but I realized I got to have a measure for when I can say, yes, you did good. You can stop now. And I had 3 measures. One was, okay, if you get half the words, you can call it good. Or if you get the pangram, ta-da, or if you get to amazing level. Any one of those is good enough to put it down and move on. But after a while, I got better at playing, and I decided, okay, I'm going to all 3 of those. That's my measure. Okay, maybe that's just my excuse to keep playing longer. But now when I get half the words and the pangram and I'm at amazing, I'm good to go. I can stop. And that's what it felt like as I was feeling around with this dream come true. It felt like I did what I came here to do. It was that sense of fulfillment and completion. Oh, it felt so good. And I knew I had moved the dial. That was nice alignment. And it just came from asking myself, how will I be different? How will I feel different when I'm living that desired result? I'm sharing that with you in case you can get some traction from asking that question too, in case you don't already play with it. So, and then, yeah, just imagining it was good alignment, but then I decided I wanted to take it even further because I'm a maestro manifester. That's our new series at Good Vibe University that's been inspiring me to raise my alignment game even higher. So I asked myself how I already feel that kind of pride and accomplishment and fulfillment. And I didn't have to look too far because there were more than, we'll just say, there were more than a few rescue cats looking at me for their breakfast and 3 rescue dogs at my feet. And I'm going to be honest, I'm so proud of how I have served in this field. Guess who did not bring tissues with her to record today? Come on, Jeanette. Oh, man. I'm so proud of myself. I keep showing up and not burning out and not getting discouraged usually and mostly enjoying it and being really positive about the direction we're going and being able to see the progress that we're making instead of just seeing all the ways we still have to go. And just knowing what it took to say yes to this desire in my heart, to not let anyone dissuade me from it, to be willing to be the crazy cat lady. Oh, come on. To be true to what I wanted to participate in. I'm so proud of myself. It's not like I grew up in a culture of everyone that did this. There wasn't a lot that was saying, yes, this is approved. And I was a people pleaser. For me to do this, especially to let the resources in to let this happen in my life, including the space and the helpers and the money and the systems and the courage, the ability to let a foster go to a new home. Oh my gosh, that can be really hard to do. And the ability to keep one when they don't go to a new home. Oh, I am so good at this. I've done such a good job. And feeling that so strongly, that helped my alignment even more to recognize where I already am feeling this proud and accomplished of myself. And I'm not done in rescue by any means. I still love it. But it was a fun way to acknowledge, as Abraham describes it, it was becoming the cooperative component to find that vibration so deliciously today. I really liked it. It was one way to get up to speed with the desire and to be the frequency of what I'm calling in. That's one way to do it. There are lots of other ways too. I hope you're playing with whatever ways work best for you. Okay, so that was today. Next, I'm going to tell you about yesterday, and you might want to stop listening right now. This might not be a story you want to hear because it was not pretty. Yesterday, I also started with an alignment practice. It was the same practice. I feel around for whatever sounds good until I feel some sort of connection, some sort of vibrational plug-in, just the movement, where I can tell that I feel noticeably better. Like if someone could measure it, the dial definitely moved. I did that same thing yesterday. And then I opened an email that said, I'm trying to decide what length of story to share with you here. The email said, insufficient funds. Me. Insufficient funds? I am not the insufficient funds girl. I am the sufficient funds girl. I'm pretty sure if you look it up in the dictionary, my picture's in the sufficient funds definition. No, not today. Today it said insufficient funds. Transaction declined. Oh, I did not like that. And you know what else it said? It shared the details of the transaction that did not go through. It was a 5-figure transaction. Can I say this without being all the attitude? Try and tell it without the attitude, Jeanette. It had the date. It had the amount. It had the product I was attempting to purchase. It looked like the transaction did not go through. And I thought, well, okay. First of all, that whole insufficient funds is not a nice email to get. But I realized there's just some error, like it was trying to pull from checking instead of savings or vice versa. I must have just somehow, even though it's done it before, I never had to pay attention before, somehow something got swapped and I must have put the money in the wrong account. That's why it didn't go through. So this is an easy fix. I figured what I would do is go to the investment platform and just redo the transaction and make sure that it was pulling from the right account. And I logged in to go do that, and it said, yep, you can't do that, because it thought it had gone through. So it was saying transaction complete, and the money was still sitting at my credit union, though. So there's a definite problem here. And I tried to cancel the transaction, but it said, no, it's done. There's nothing to cancel. It said it was done. And I was in such an insufficient funds vibration that I didn't recognize the potential sweet spot of this manifestation, where the money gets to be in two places at once. Come on. Why couldn't I revel in that? Like, this is a significant amount of money for me, and it's in both places. Come on. That's cool. No, I wasn't anywhere near there. Where I was call the credit union and try to get them to put the transaction through, because the investment house thinks it's already gone. So call there's a kitty trying to get in. I think she'll be fine not coming in. So I called the credit union, and I got a rep. Oh, did I get a rep? This rep was not in keeping with the theme of my day, because this was an amazing representative. Oh, did I like this guy that I was talking to? Here's what he said. He said, first of all, we did not send you an email. We did not decline a transaction. We did not send you an email for insufficient funds. In fact, we don't send emails for insufficient funds. He said, and I said, I'm looking right at it. It's got all the details. It's from you, da-da-da, da-da-da-da. And he's like, who's it from? Do you know what he was asking? Because I did. I knew what that question meant. He thought I had fallen for a phishing scam. I don't fall for phishing scams. I'm the one who's always alerting her loved ones. Do not click on that. Don't believe that. I'm the one who spots them first. No one spots them before me. He's saying I fell for it? I'm like, dude, how can it be? Because, okay, I guess you're getting the long version of this story. I said, it's your banner, your website. You got all the specifics. How would you know these things if it wasn't from you? And he said, who's the sender? It said marketing at acemail.mycreditunion. It wasn't them. It wasn't them. He said, tell me you didn't click on anything. I said, well, no, I didn't click on anything, but I had opened it. And also, how do they know this? How do they know this? And he tells me, look, and I'm still not, even right now, I'm still not entirely convinced it wasn't from them, because it was so perfect. I've never seen, it was so perfect. I mean, it looked so legit. I come from the banking industry. I know legit emails. No, that email sender was a tip-off. It wasn't them. He said, they're getting very sophisticated. Oh. This guy, turns out, he's a cybersecurity expert. He said he's like looking to go into the field. You know what? He already gets status in my world as cybersecurity expert, because he spent 40 minutes on the phone with me. He went above and beyond. I love him dearly. I didn't even catch his name right. I kind of want to call back because I have other questions for him. Anyway, he said, here's what you're going to do first, this, that, and the other. And it turns out 3 things. Oh, well, the one thing he said you got to do first is you got to go in, change your password and all your security questions. Okay, cool. And then he said, here are the other things to do. And he said, one is, on your email, change your settings so that images don't open automatically. I said, I already have that setting. And he said, well, that's good. But then how come you can describe our banner perfectly? And I said, I guess I must have automatically clicked on display images. And he said, well, yeah, don't click that automatically. Just get used to looking at ugly emails. That's what he said. Okay, and then the other thing he said was, use a password manager. Ta-da, I already do. And he loved the one that I used, too. I'm choking myself. I'm so excited as I tell this story. He approved highly of my choice of password manager. because one's been in the news recently. And I said, not that one. And he said, good. And he told me why. And I am proud of myself because it was a while ago that someone in my business told me to use a password manager. And I said, I didn't have a good vibration for that password manager. And so I picked a different one. And she was like, I don't know why you'd pick a different one. But I did pick a different one. And it turns out the cybersecurity expert really likes my choice. So that was another good thing. And then the third thing he said was, use a Mac. And I said, today I already do. So he's like, you're already ahead of the game. And then he told me some extra things, including Proton for email. Didn't know about that. Yubico for a security key. Never heard of that before either. And and he said Bitdefender. I did do that. All the other stuff felt like above and beyond. I didn't have green lights inside for that, but I did feel an easy yes for Bitdefender. So I did those things. I had a great time talking to him. I mean, considering the situation. So that was how my day started. And it was downhill, and not in a good kind of downhill from there. Oh, the dog threw up on the carpet and then peed on the plant right in front of me. And just so no one suspects bad things of Harvey or Olive, it wasn't either one of them. And I know you can't blame a guy for throwing up. Although, how many times do I tell him, you got to chew those treats better? I realize I just can't give him bully sticks anymore because he doesn't chew them good enough. I just feel so bad when everyone else gets one and he doesn't. But we're going to have to figure out something else. So you can forgive a guy for throwing up, but peeing on a plant, come on. There's no excuse for that, buddy. He should know better. Okay, so you might get a sense of where my day was vibrationally yesterday, but that was just the beginning. Then there was this thing where, okay, it's not too late to stop listening. You can always leave this one unlistened to. Oh gosh. So this thing happened where, this does actually have kind of a cool LOA component, even though it wasn't fun. You gotta give it to Law of Attraction for being so reliable. This is maybe about a week ago. There were a bunch of people parked on the road to the ski resort. It's not my road, but I could see it from my place. A lot of traffic on that road. There were people in the local group complaining about all the people who were parking on the road. It was unsafe. I mean, we got 5-foot-high snow drifts. People are parking. And then, they're with their ski equipment. They're taking off their boots and whipping their skis around. There's just not a lot of room. It's a narrow road. Okay. It wasn't safe. People are up in arms. Write your commissioners, got to do something about it. Right. Well, I didn't write any commissioners, but in my head, I did agree with them about how I might have thought something along the lines of, yeah, ski resort, get your act together. This isn't cool. Make a place for your people to park. Okay. You could tell I still got some resistance in my vibration for the ski resort. We will not go down that road in this episode. It's the kind of vibration that makes me go, yeah. Okay. So anyway, that little thought, yeah, ski resort, get your act together. Universe heard me because on this bad day that was working itself to be a proper bad day, I get a text from a neighbor that at first it was just a picture. It was just an image. It was an image of a map. It's a map for a free shuttle that is going to run down our road. They're telling people, park on our road, and our free shuttle will drive you to the ski resort. It's hard for me to properly describe my feelings about that without swear words. And you know what he had said with the text? You know what his text said? LOL, we should at least be getting free passes. Like, he wasn't the kind of bothered by it that I was. You know why? He doesn't live here. He doesn't live here yet. He's building. He has not finished his house. He doesn't live here yet. So he can laugh and joke about free passes. I was not laughing. I did not care about any free passes. I did not like it. I did not like it at all. My vibration was in the toilet. Oh, and the internet was spotty, which that's not cool. My favorite shovel, of all the things, this might have been the thing that bothered me the most. My favorite shovel, broken. Chad told me, he said, I'm just going to tell you before you notice yourself. The shovel broke. I said, how could the shovel break? It's the best. Anyone who has listened to prior episodes recently knows the love I have for my shovel. I have shovel love. Like most people don't have shovel love. How could it even break? I said, it's the best shovel ever made. How is it even capable of breaking? And he told me he was jumping out of the truck. He had the shovel in his hand. I don't know exactly what happened, but he said it came down to it was either me or the shovel. And he knows how much I love that shovel. He's the one who had to go find a link to it online when everyone kept asking me, how do you find one of these magic shovels, Jeanette? So he knows how I love this shovel. And to my credit, in my bad mood on this bad day, I said, in response to that, good choice. But still my favorite shovel. And I have another one, but still. Okay. There were some other things in this day. It's probably best if I don't try to recall everything for you. And it was about that time that I announced to everyone in my vicinity that I was having an official bad day. I said out loud, all right, I'm ornery. That was just disclaimer to everyone. I'm ornery. And you know what? That's actually what I said after that was I need to take steps to feel better. But that was the first step to feel better, to acknowledge it, to own it, to not try to fight it, to not pretend that it's not happening, but just really going all in on it. It's a bad day and I don't like it. That already offered just a little bit of relief in it. But I was not done. I said to Chad, I got to do something to feel better. I cannot lose an entire day to feeling crappy. I mean, we were halfway through the day, but I wasn't willing to do it for the whole rest of the day. And maybe I should have been. That maybe would have been the better move. I've done that before. I did not do it yesterday. I thought I could still recover from it. And if you really, honestly, truly go all in on it, it completes itself so quickly. But what I opted to do was to go for a walk. I said, I'm going to go for a walk. Do you want to go? And that didn't mean like, I would like you to go for a walk with me. It was like fair warning. You might not want to go with me, but he did. And the dogs did too, even though I told everyone I'm ornery. So we went on a walk and here's what I'm laughing about it now, but I was not laughing at the time. I'm going to say this to Chad's credit. He could go on a walk. He could do anything with me. My ornery doesn't get on him. It doesn't bother him. He doesn't join me in it. And it is so cool to be able to be around someone who doesn't make it worse. Because I have been with those men. Ooh. Okay. He's got some sort of immunity. And I'm not saying I couldn't eventually drag him down with me, but I don't think I ever have. I don't think so. So we don't have to worry about Chad in this story is what I'm saying. We're on this dog walk. And I think this is why this dog walk didn't really even help because, normally that's my go-to for feeling better. It didn't help. And this might be why. Maybe it's because I was employing a little known vibration management strategy we'll just call it Misery Loves Company, maybe is what this one is called. You know how Abraham sometimes says that revenge is what feels better on some occasions? Like sometimes the thing that feels better isn't very pretty. Okay, well, I was giving this one a go. I was making someone else feel crappy too. Here's why. So we're on the dog walk. Oh, the guy who had sent me the shuttle pictures, who was laughing, let's give free passes. Yeah, well, I said to him, they might not want to let that shuttle run up and down our road all day, considering the how it has been seriously compromised. He was like, what do you mean seriously compromised? I said, our road is broken. He was like, what do you mean? Now he wasn't laughing no more. And that made me laugh. No, it sounds so wrong. It sounds so wrong to feel better when someone else doesn't feel better. Oh, yeah. I'm not proud. But, okay. I had just activated pride really well, so maybe I got enough pride to spare. So, I went on to tell him about how I had noticed walking this road that one day it wasn't a regular snowplow. They sent up snow removers these were heavy duty vehicles. I don't know what they're called. I'd never seen them before. They meant business. And they did a number on our road. Our road, it's the road the guy had to build in order to build his house. The county made him put a road in. So he had it built himself. He paid for it. I think he did some of the work himself and paid someone else to do the rest. And it was once upon a time a beautiful road. It was not anymore. It was cracked. It was crumbling. It all over the place, like on the sides, in the middle. At first, when I saw it, I was just horrified. Our beautiful road. But you know what? I don't drive on it. Maybe. And I thought, this was my better feeling thought at the time. When I noticed it a little while ago, I didn't feel compelled to tell him about it until I wanted to ruin his all joyful mood about our shuttle. I'm like, maybe they shouldn't be letting a shuttle drive on it, considering the status of our road. And he was like, what do you mean? And I sent him pictures. So on this dog walk, I was sending him pictures of the ruined road. And look, that doesn't sound very good, that you feel better because you made someone else feel bad. It doesn't sound very good, but there is something about misery does love a little company. I don't know what's going on there. So that might have been part of why the dog walk didn't do its usual magic on me for feeling better. Also, we weren't in the woods. You can't get to a trailhead here. They're blocked. There's no, we're walking in the neighborhoods. Normally, my neighborhood, you could do it in snowshoes. But no, they built a road. So we're walking on the road. Okay. This is me and my bad day. Okay. What happened next? I got home and I was like, I don't even think chocolate can help me now. So I went for the emergency measures. The ones I don't use more than once or twice a year. In fact, that's probably how old these things are. They're probably that old. They've been sitting in my fridge waiting on standby for an emergency moment like I felt like I was having yesterday. So I pulled out 2 beers from the fridge. And these weren't just any beers. These are the emergency beers. These are the high alcohol content. Okay, I say that like it's special. I live in Utah, so it's probably regular beer for everyone else. But they're Trappist monk beers. They're super ridiculously expensive in adorable bottles. They're so cute. They're kind of small. So I had a beer. I had a beer, and guess what? It helped. It legit helped. Probably because I don't use it very often. I was only a half beer in, and I was already feeling a little more hootless about my insufficient funds, and I got no internet. And the hackers breached me, and the dog's peeing in my house. And my best friend Kim's under the weather, and my other best friend Carrie is AWOL at GVU. All the things that I wasn't loving, they didn't bother me as much once I had half a beer. But I finished it. And then I had another one for good measure because these are really teeny bottles. And look, I'm in a relationship with a guy who's in recovery, so popping a beer at my house, it might not be the most super cool, friendliest thing to do. And neither is texting pictures to upset a guy about his beautiful new road. That's not cool either. But you know what? Maybe it was just all the accumulated effects. The dog walk, the texts, the beer. Ooh, and then something else. Because it was helping. And then I asked Chad to make something good to eat. And he did. He made, what are those little potato nuggets called? They're not fries. They're not hash browns. They're like cylindrical, like, are they called nuggets? Is that what they are? Tater tots. They're called tater tots. He made them in his new fryer that he likes so much. And he made it. He said, do you want a special sauce with that? Oh, yes, I do. Normally, I'm the one who makes a special sauce. He never has before. And he said, what's the recipe? And I said, I don't know. Because I still had some bad mood on me. I said, I don't know. And I had no internet, but he had a hotspot on his phone and he found a recipe. Oh my gosh, it was even better than mine. It was amazing. I really think I have the Trappist monks to thank for the turn that my vibration was taking in this day. But while he was making the special sauce, I said, please tell me something good. He's not usually good at that game. It was an improvement that I could talk to people. It was an improvement. So when I said, please tell me something good, and normally he won't play that, but he did, and he delivered yesterday. He said some things that made me laugh, and that was not easy to do in my mood. It was just nice to have someone that I didn't have to kick out of the house because I knew it would only get worse if someone got ornery with me. He did really good. And dinner was delicious. It was really good. I'm gonna It probably was the accumulation of things. It probably was. So I became more tolerable to those around me and to myself for the rest of the night because something just got shook loose. I got out of the bad cycle somehow. Ooh, maybe this helped too. We watched, oh my gosh, it was such a messed up show. Oh my word. There was a guy on death row in Texas for burning a house down with his 3 kids in it. It was so messed up. I thought this was going to be an uplifting story of a guy who escaped death row with the help of a loving woman who cared enough to get involved. No, it was not that show. But you know what? Watching it, it kind of made me realize that things aren't so bad here in my life after all. I got a shuttle giving me some grief. I got a scammer in my inbox. A dog who thinks it's okay to pee on plants. These are fine problems to have. It's way better than your wife won't spend any money or any of the insurance money on getting you a better lawyer to get you off death row after all your kids died in a house fire. It's sometimes watching bad news can help you feel better. Sometimes it does. It sounds wrong, but sometimes our vibration management successes come from things that you're not going to find on every law of attraction teacher's list of what to do to feel better. They're saying, go appreciate something, go dancing. You know what? Tell everyone how awful you feel. Make someone else feel bad. Get a little drunk. Eat some comfort food. Watch a sad story about death and murder. Come on. But sometimes it does the trick. You got to be able to do it judgment-free or it doesn't work, though. Because if you're ashamed of what feels better, you're not any further ahead. And I am not super proud to tell you this story, but I think I've activated enough pride that I got some to spare. I cracked myself up. So, you know what else? What probably made a big difference was just going to sleep. I went to sleep early, still no internet. So I went to sleep and I got a do-over today. Ta-da! Today. That started with no internet again. But guess what my response was today? It was completely drama-free. There was no blaming, no criticizing, and I wasn't even conscious or deliberate about it. I wasn't like having to curb any rants or raves. I was just like, no internet. That's curious. I texted the person. She's the owner of the company, and she texts me back every time, like immediately. Oh my word, her customer service is amazing. I got a little story about how they treat me like gold. It's paying off, isn't it? You could hear it in the customer service from the day before. I wasn't too far into my bad day. Man, him though, and her today. Anyway, she said, look, everything looks fine on our end. Yes, we had a problem yesterday, but we got it solved. Everyone's up now. And I'm like, I'm not up now. She said, our system says you're up. I said, I'm not up. I said, I got 3 devices. It won't connect. And she's like, well, I'm going to reboot. And she was working on it, even though she could technically say, it's your issue, not ours. She didn't say that. She tried to help me. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go have a shower. I took a shower, and guess what? By the time I got out, I still didn't have any internet, and I was still okay about it. Come on, it's like I was immune to problems. What was it? I don't think it was leftover from the Trappist monks. I don't think, maybe I just had enough problems to last me for the rest of the month. Or maybe I just had an exceptional night's sleep. I don't know. But I do know this much. I'm going to get another chance to practice not freaking out when something goes sideways next. Because life it keeps helping us get better and better at being who we want to be and living how we want to live. Isn't it cool how it does that? We always get a do-over. Okay, so that's a lot of LOA tips for one episode. Let's try and sum that up. I like the question, who are you being right now? Or who will you be or how will you feel when you have what you want? Activate that now, some way, somehow. And you know what? If that's not doing it, keep some Trappist monk beer in the fridge or some comfort food handy or whatever your guidance points you toward. You can trust whatever feels better. All right, sending all the good vibes your way, everyone. Happy manifesting.